Stephon Diggs, and this, I'm going to circle it back to Detroit. Yesterday, he got frustrated with Josh Allen. During the game, the camera caught him what appeared to be yelling at Josh Allen. Now, I want to be a little bit careful here because you don't 100% know what was being said or what the context was, whether or not there was something that preceded that. A camera catches players on the sideline, and you see a window into time, which might be the result of interaction that had gone on all game long, or it could have been exactly what it appeared to be, which was a wide receiver showing frustration with his quarterback. But he wasn't available for comment because apparently he got into the locker room and stormed out before the coaches addressed the team, had to be chased down by a teammate, brought back to the locker room, then he left. He had 10 targets in the game, but only 4 catches for 35 yards. The question I have is, if it is a true diva type of wide receiver behavior, is that a player that this regime in Detroit wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole? And can you operate that way? Because there is simply, I don't think there's a press conference that goes by where Brad Holmes doesn't talk about having players that buy into their message, that are team guys. Brad Holmes always stresses these things. Dan Campbell has press conferences where he doesn't talk about it, but he absolutely talks about it. Is this problematic? Because there are plenty of divas that have won big. And can you take this have to have the buy-in too far? Like, would the Lions never go after a player like Stephon Diggs if that truly was a window into a degree of selfishness? And again, I'm trying to be fair to Stephon Diggs. I don't cover the Bills, wasn't around. I didn't hear everything said in the post game. I read the quotes that I could, and it appears he isn't happy with his quarterback. But even if it is misleading, we all know what a diva player is. And we know guys that are more me than we. I mean, 10 targets, that's why I'm a little curious. 10 targets isn't something to be mad about. 10 targets was the most any player had in that game. Now, is he yelling at Josh Allen because Josh Allen's just having a bad game? Is he yelling at Josh Allen because Josh Allen, is there more to the interaction is what I'm getting at? Because there could be more to the interaction.
I think there was a play that led to the interaction where Allen's kind of rolling out, and it looks like Stephon Diggs is open. Mm-hmm. Not like incredibly wide open, nobody within 10, 15 feet of him, but open enough where Josh Allen's got the arm strength, he can get the ball there and make the play, and he didn't. And then he gets upset, and then you see him go to the sideline and do the thing where he's in front of him, where he's yelling at him, throws his arms up in the air, does it like 3 different times where he throws his arms up.
Yep.
I give Josh Allen credit for ignoring the entire thing. He doesn't even pick his head up. He's looking at the tablet, talking with the coach next to him, and occasionally the coach picks up his head and looks at and sees what's happening, but just goes right back to talking with Josh Allen. It's like as if Josh Allen's like, I ain't got time for this. I'm trying to win a game. I'm trying to get us back into it, and I'm not going to listen to this. Now, it's unfair because we don't know exactly what the exchange was. You're right about that. Would the Lions put up with something like that? It doesn't seem like that's in the DNA of Dan Campbell to do that. Mm-hmm. And I hope it never gets tested. But I can't help but think immediately to Jamison Williams that I hope we're not at the embryonic stages of something like that when you saw that he had retweeted or didn't retweet. He liked a tweet that somebody said, like, get J-Mo the ball, and he liked that tweet, and a little bit was made out of that. Mm-hmm. You could see a little bit of frustration on Jamison Williams the last couple games of the season because he wanted, to be part of that, and it's not. I hope it's just that, hey, I just want to be part of this game. I want to help this team, and I love my teammates. And it's probably more that than anything else. But as he gets more integrated in this offense, and like as soon as next year starts, because he's going to be full bore with his team, we'll see. And I think we're all going to be very happy with the result.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're not reading. I mean, making sure we're clear. You're not reading too much into the Jamison Williams thing.
No, I'm not. I just kind of want to head it off at the pass here because it's way too early to even know. Because I would imagine that some people would send in some texts or tweets and say, well, hey, look what happened at the end of the season with him. All right, well, it's nowhere near as demonstrative as what Stephon Diggs was. And you look at when you think of a diva receiver, what name comes to mind?
Terrell Owens.
Didn't win a Super Bowl. Come up with another one.
Odell Beckham.
Did not win a Super Bowl, if I'm correct.
Didn't he win one last year?
Oh, I'm sorry. He did play with the Rams. I keep thinking it was a Giant.
Yep.
I was thinking Chad Johnson's the other one. Chad Johnson never won a Super Bowl.
Yep. I mean, look, it doesn't. It's the question is, do you?
And Odell got rewarded right after he was shooting his mouth off about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right that those guys are not something you necessarily want, but the fact of the matter is, I don't know that you can avoid it and build the best team you can possibly build. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. And look, I don't want to. Josh Allen defended Stephon Diggs when the game was over. Now maybe he's just being a leader who doesn't want to make a bigger deal out of something. But he did have some things to say. Hey, he's a fiery competitor.
Well,
it was a direct quote.
If you're Josh Allen, good for you because that's the road you should take. You should say, "Hey, I get it. I'm frustrated too. I need to get." He's the guy that, the number one option on our team that makes the offense go. I need to find a way to get him the ball, and I have to be better than that. And I imagine that every quarterback would tell stories of how they get to the huddle, and every receiver tells them how open they are. Get me the ball. Get me the ball. Get me the ball. But you just don't hear those stories all the time. But I'll bet every quarterback has them.